Tonight, we explore the concept of black to business, throwing our dollars into black establishments, and why statistically some say black people are more inclined to support non-black establishments. To hash it all out, I recently spoke with the CEO of Black upstart Kezia M. Williams, founder and CEO of Village Market ATL, Lakeisha Hallman, and serial entrepreneur Seven Buffins. Ladies, thank you for joining us. Let's get right into it. A Black Star Project study calculates that $1 circulates 6 hours in the black community, 20 days in the Jewish community, 30 days in the Asian community, and 17 days in predominantly white communities, according to other studies. In other words, when a black person earns $1, it is typically not spent with a black-owned business. Let's expand on that. Recycling the dollar within the community. What does that mean, and what can be done to improve that recycling?
It's shifting our consciousness to not buying black as a reaction, but shifting our consciousness to the lifestyle. Find a black-owned company that you can replace with what you're using every single day, and that's how it becomes continuous and not just a reaction.
Why are black consumers not spending their money with black businesses? Lakeisha?
You know, I would challenge that black people are spending money with black businesses. Now, the issue is, do we know exactly where black businesses are located in our communities? Most of us shop from Main Street areas, whatever those high foot traffic areas. The commercial rents are surging, and so many black businesses, especially in the startup phase, cannot afford those rents.
I do believe that black people are buying from black-owned businesses, but the question becomes, how often? I think that especially during a pandemic, when we witnessed the public execution of individuals like George Floyd, people responded by buying black, hashtag black owned. However, people were buying in response to a protest. Question becomes, have we made buying black habitual, right? Do we wake up every single day and ask ourselves, when we need something or want something, can a black-owned business provide that product or service?
Kezia is just talking about that uptick during the summer of protests. As a business owner, what did you notice during that time with that moment in time and how it became a movement?
It's just kind of like a family reunion. You can either decide to see your family all the time, you can decide to spend that time together whenever it's needed, or you just come together in like trauma, or you come together once a year. And I think as black-owned businesses, as business owners, as black people in general, we can decide to come together on more than just one occasion or when there's something necessary for us to come together, but us to find value. And I think, like you just said about, are we shopping black business? I think it's not just about where we're located and the value, but also are we actually recycling the black dollar? Are we deciding that we have value within each other to say, I want to shop black businesses forever, or I just want to shop your business in general because it's amazing?
Are there any unconscious biases?
Of course, there's always unconscious biases. I think there's also a lack of grace and respect that we give to black-owned businesses, especially now with this decline in supply. Black businesses and businesses across the country are just having a hard time meeting those shipping needs. But that's not essential to black businesses, that's everybody. But what happens with black businesses in our community, sometimes the grace is not extended. The same grace that we would give to any other major company. As soon as our shipment is late, it's a huge pushback. And so the unbiased consciousness is there, but also the lack of grace.
Some of us went out on the streets, got on social media. We got mad at Starbucks for the fiasco that happened a year ago. Then a week later, we had a Starbucks cup in our hand. Then H&M, Coolest Monkey in the Jungle, we protested out for 3 or 4 weeks. The next day, we was in there trying to find the next club gear to go out with our girlfriends. The same grace that you extend for those big businesses need to be the same amount of grace that you extend to black-owned businesses.
Is the unconscious bias against our own?
I think exactly what you just said is the word is grace. When we shop black-owned, you say, oh, it's because it's a black-owned business. This is why I don't shop black-owned business. And you place these unrealistic expectations on top of black business when you're already having to learn enough. You're already having a lot of trial and error. You're already operating off of the things that are wanted and unwanted that you have to learn, because it's not like every black household that you go in, there's business owners. We just didn't necessarily have the opportunity. So now that we get the opportunity, you have these unrealistic expectations, and that's why you get to what she was saying about us not continually shopping and it becoming a habit, because now you're saying, oh, don't shop here. It took 3 extra business days. If you go into a furniture store, they'll say it's because of COVID, and you'll say, okay, But if you shop a Black-owned business, it's no longer you get that same amount of grace. It's automatically, oh, it's because you're Black. You're a Black-owned business, and that's exactly why.
So it becomes more so the identity of the business owner when things go south.
Correct.
Versus, oh, this is the business.
Yeah, and I want to interject here because I think what both women said are spot on, right? We have Amazon, who has the capacity to deliver a product in 2.5 minutes. Black-owned business takes 3 to 5 days, and all of a sudden they're taking a long time. Black-owned business is not Amazon. There are 2.56 million Black entrepreneurs, but only 109,000 of them are actual employers. That means 2 million of them are going to work 9 to 5 and coming home to run their business, to really build their dream. And so the capacity for them to compete against Amazon that has thousands of employees across the country, to compare them to that is unrealistic. The other thing that I would say for Black entrepreneurs, I think we need to get intentional about providing the products and services that Black people buy. Folks normally say that Black people's over $1 trillion worth of buying power is actually power. But it's not powerful if we're not spending that making Black-owned businesses rich.
I personally don't say, shop my business because I'm a Black-owned business. I like to add value to other people, and you're able to have these opportunities to give other Black people opportunities. So then you get to be able to see, hey, it's no longer a crab in a barrel type of mentality in the Black community. It's the people being able to show value and actually want to be able to help one another without holding back on the secrets, because you want to be able to show, hey, I found out what to do with money. I have a Black-owned business, and now I'm going out and, like she said, protesting the brands and then going and shopping it, because that's where we're showing the value is at. You have money if you wear this brand or if you have this. I don't think it's just the community that gets the opportunity to get it right. I think as entrepreneurs, as people, as Black-owned businesses, we get the opportunity to get it right first. We get the opportunity to then bring in the community and then show the community this is where you can actually be placing your dollar so that Black people can finally get the place that they need to be in the world.
The key word is community. Why Tulsa worked is because it was a community of Black people that could only buy from Black people. And so you had dollars circulating months within months within months within a community. And so how we rebuild that again is going back, being in our communities that's built by us. Our schools are funded by us. Our teachers and principals are teaching our kids. Our doctors are going back to our communities. That's the way that the dollar sticks and stays. So you're not only buying from one place. For entrepreneurs who feel that they cannot get their start unless somebody invests in them first, I say, build your thing, make sure that it's excellent, and then you're gonna have investors, you're gonna have communities that really wanna support you. One thing that I love about Black Upstart is their night school. And so it's amazing when we provide technical assistance to each other and for each other, because we know fundamentally those biases that's in the application process. Even if it's in a charter that is, you're supposed to think about diversity, that charter would think about how to make it diverse in brown, not diverse in Black.
If you do have to end up getting a loan and everything else, you've already, like she said, placed the value behind yourself and say, hey, my business is good, my company is good. So then everybody that shops our businesses, 95% of our consumers are Black.
Black women continue to boost the economy during the pandemic. But there are funding organizations such as Collab Capital, based here in Atlanta, a $50 million fund and counting, investing in Black founders and CEOs. And there's a number, I believe there's the Harlem Fund, investing in Black entrepreneurs. So I think we don't always have to go that traditional route. There are people who are intentionally building and creating just for Black people.
How can we improve the quality of Black businesses and increase Black consumer support?
One thing that I like to live by is just because somebody else is winning doesn't mean that I'm losing. And I take that on in every aspect in life, because it's so much to gain in your own lane. And if other people can take that aspect on of, hey, I'll be able to help you, girl, and it doesn't take away from me. And that's a lot of the reasons why we can't build as Black people, is because it's a competition. And instead of competition, we need to start operating in completion.
We need to be intentional about making sure that our dollar stays in the same places, because when you buy from a Black-owned business, it's not just that transaction. Black business owners are more likely to create Black jobs. They're more likely to give back to Black philanthropic causes, so that means they're nonprofit organizations, and most importantly, they're more likely to cultivate Black wealth. That means that that transaction is touching 2, 3, 4, 5 generations, and that's what makes it so important.
Seven, Kezia, Lakeisha, thank you all for chiming in on this important topic and coming in to the studio to have this important conversation.